I've made an executive decision, Ben. This is our theme song, whether you like it or not.
I'm pretty sure I saw somebody dance like that on Minecraft one time.
That is exactly. As soon as you started doing that, I thought, well, that looks exactly like a Minecraft player would dance.
All right.
Episode number 18, Ben's MetaMentors, NFT Worlds, one of the newest, definitely the biggest. This thing is huge.
Huge.
Check out this trailer. Let's keep the music going. Ben, one of my favorite things about doing this show with you is I get to find things that you haven't seen.
My thesis is
and surprise
this
you.
is a massive threat.
And I don't know. You may have seen this, you may have not, but I'm about to show you an infographic, and you know how I feel about infographics.
You love infographics.
I feel like I hope I'm not upselling this and you're disappointed, but I think I'm about to blow your mind. Let's just take a look at it, and then I'm going to toss it over to you. Check out this infographic. This is why we are doing this channel right here. Let me switch over here. Anticipation.
Yeah, you're building it.
All right. Buckle in. So, like I told you, NFT Worlds is huge. On your left here, can you see this green dot? That symbolizes the entire sandbox, as you can see. The yellow dot, entire Decentraland. This blue rectangle,
all of NFT World?
No, one NFT World. One of 10,000. That's how big this metaverse is.
Huh.
Let that sink. Let that
and
sink
how many?
in.
How many are there of those?
10,000 of them. This is so. That, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the only project that I think we've covered where you're not buying into the metaverse. You're buying a metaverse. Your NFT symbolizes a metaverse that you can do whatever you want on, and it is infinitely larger than all of Decentraland, all of Sandbox.
Yeah, you're not buying an area of the world. You're buying the world, the NFT world. That's cool, man. That's huge.
That's huge. There's no better word for it. And I've got a ton of info and video clips we're going to watch, and they're going to go into a lot of why they did these things. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do the disclaimer and the news.
Everything on this channel is for educational and informational purposes only, not financial advice. Check with your own people before you make any investments in a project like this. Starting with the news, crypto news for this week. Man, it's a big week for all of the crypto market. There's a lot of stuff going on. And obviously, this time every year, no matter what's going on, people remember that it is Bitcoin Pizza Day. Actually, the day is officially tomorrow, but they're celebrating it this weekend. Bitcoin Pizza Day, you probably remember 10 years ago, 11 years ago now, on this weekend was when the guy paid 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas.
No, I'm not familiar with this at all.
All right, to our audience who are watching right now, this is Ryan. He runs a Metaverse and Web3 project that focuses on crypto. He does an entire channel. He's 18 episodes in, and he's never heard of Bitcoin Pizza Day.
And I thought you were the one bringing this channel down the whole time, Ben.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, let me tell you the story because again, before you hear
wait a second, Ben. I'm going to take a stab. You're the guy that paid all that. No. Okay.
No, because back in 2010, I wasn't even interested in Bitcoin, but this made news back then before Bitcoin was popular. This guy, his name's in this article. I'll tag it. Laszlo Hanyez, I can't pronounce his last name. He was trying to figure out how to pay for pizza with Bitcoin. He was asking around, trying to get different pizza places to deliver pizza, and he was going to pay for it, and nobody would bite. But somebody in one of his little groups, his online groups, like a Reddit or a chat room, he agreed to pay for 2 pizzas from Papa John's and send them to this guy for 10,000 Bitcoins. So he does. So he gives him 10,000 Bitcoins, which, at the time was worth $41 worth of pizza, gets his pizza delivered. And so every year on this day, it's actually tomorrow, May 22nd is Bitcoin Pizza Day, but they're celebrating it all weekend because it really was the first time that somebody used this for an off the network, not a digital. People were passing Bitcoin around and minting it and mining it, but this was for a real world item paid for with Bitcoin. I'm sure it happened in other spots, but this one is one of the points of the timeline that will always be remembered is Bitcoin Pizza Day. And one of the funniest things when I was reading, I don't know if it's this article or another one, but it was talking about this guy, and he said, people like to make fun of me because 10,000 Bitcoins today is worth about $300 million. And he said, but that's not the worst part. The worst part was he'd spent all summer after that buying Bitcoin pizza. He was having all sorts of people send him pizza for 10,000, 5,000,
What's up, guys?
20,000.
Bang, bang.
He said that was just
Everybody
the first
knows
time
there's 2 things I love more
that
than
they
anything
actually
else
made
in
a
the
note
world.
of it. But
Bitcoin
he spent because he
and
was
pizza.
mining it.
That's
so
why today
I don't know how
we're
much
announcing
he was mining
Bitcoin
per
pizza.
day.
That's
but
right.
He said in the article, I felt like I was getting
What is
free
Bitcoin Pizza?
all summer.
Bitcoin Pizza
Because
is a new
he was
national
mining this
pizza
Bitcoin
chain
and paying
that
people
allows you to eat
order
tasty
food,
pizza
so.
while also supporting
Funny
Bitcoin
now
developers.
because-
Here's how it works.
What?
You head to
eatbitcoinpizza.com.
You order the pizza that you want. You select the day and time that you want it delivered straight to your door.
He jokingly
And a
said
local
close to $1
pizzeria
trillion.
in your town will go
But
ahead,
I'm
they'll
sure
make
he
the
was
pizza,
joking,
they'll put it in one of these awesome boxes that we created,
10,000
and they'll have it
Bitcoins, but he
delivered
said he
right
did
to
that
you
several
on the
times
specified
throughout the
day and
summer.
time.
He
We
got
take
a summer's worth of free
100% of the
pizza.
profits
The
from
first
this
one was
pilot,
10,000
and we're
Bitcoins,
donating
so
it
goodness
to
knows
the Human
what it would
Rights
be worth
Foundation
now.
Bitcoin Developers
But
Fund.
it's a big
That's
day.
right. When you buy
Every
a
year,
Bitcoin
May
pizza,
22nd
what
is
happens
Bitcoin
is
Pizza
you're
Day.
actually funding
They're
Bitcoin
celebrating it.
developers.
Pompliano,
So to get started, we're
he's
launching
got
in
a
10
project
cities across the
going
United States.
right now.
Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., Miami, Chicago, Austin, Houston, Seattle, the Bay Area, and L.A. If you're in one of those 10 cities in the United States, you can go to eatbitcoinpizza.com today and actually put in an order for delivery starting on Saturday. This Saturday is the 11-year anniversary of the infamous Bitcoin pizza transaction. It was the first purchase of a good or service using Bitcoin as a currency 11 years ago. When you place an order at eatbitcoinpizza.com, not only are you getting tasty food, but you're also supporting a local small business and Bitcoin developers around the world. So this Saturday, make sure that you clear your calendar and you order Bitcoin pizza.
All right, so Bitcoin Pizza at eatbitcoinpizza.com. It's a decentralized pizzeria. They don't have any actual stores, but you go to this website, you buy one of these pizzas that they've got. They've got 5 different types of pizza. No keys, no cheese, laser eyes, capital greens, Satoshi's favorite, and lightning meat. So you order one of those. If you're in one of these cities, you order one of those pizzas, you pay for it, and then they actually have a network of local pizzerias that will box it up, ship it out, and they take all the profit from that, and it goes to that fund that they're working on that supports the Bitcoin network and stuff. Yeah, so really cool. And they're launching it. Today is the first day. Saturday the 21st is the first day that they're available. Now, of course, we don't live near any of those cities, so
you'll have to you'll have to report on it next week, like how much business,
right.
like, you know, how it went.
I'm sure it's going to go pretty well, you know, pretty interesting at least. Yeah. So excited to see it. And I don't know if you might be able. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that. Yes. Baby's theme.
It's like Blocktopia.
Dude, I am loving that. What a genius idea.
Yeah, and obviously that date got moved up or moved back because it's not October 31st that they're launching it. So 13 years after it was created, after Bitcoin was created, and 11 years after the official Bitcoin Pizza Day, we now have the world's first decentralized pizzeria.
Very cool.
Pretty cool. So that's what's going on right there. We also, do you remember on one of the very first episodes, we were talking about the So Rare Metaverse project? I thought it was one that was going to be really big, but then we haven't really talked about it since then. It's the one that's popular over in Europe with the European trading cards. Well, they're officially making their play into American sports with So Rare MLB. Major League Baseball is coming to So Rare. They're going to have all the same type of stuff that they've got for the soccer teams over here. They've got baseball cards. You're playing basically fantasy baseball. You're arranging a team. They've got NFTs. They've got all sorts of stuff. I think we can find. Yeah, this is what they've kind of got set up for the European stuff. They've got a whole bunch of teams. They've got all these individual cards. You compile and comprise your super team, and then you compete against other people with real world stats. So,
and this is a big deal in Europe from what you've seen.
Yeah. That's why we haven't really gone over it, because it was on our initial top 10 metaverses to look at.
I do remember.
Yeah. But now they're making the play for Major League Baseball, and that should bring it over to America, or at least open the door to it. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, America's pastime.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't seen a baseball game in a long time. Hey, have you been to the new stadium downtown in Wichita?
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a big baseball fan. Not that I wouldn't go to the stadium or anything else, but between how full my schedule is and not being
that
a
makes
huge
sense.
Baseball fan, I haven't made it, and I regret it. I've actually got a buddy that has season tickets, quite a few of them, and he was like, "Man, anytime you want to go, let me know." And I just haven't made time. So, but it is cool. It looks great. I need to go.
Speaking of things that are cool, I just realized my mouse can mess up this stack of baseballs.
Oh, what?
Look at that. Oh, man.
Genius.
I'm sold. I'm in.
Yeah,
all right.
cool.
Next thing. We're going to roll right through. There's so much stuff going on. I'm just going to touch the base of all of these articles, and I'll link them down in our description below so you can check them out. Next thing up, FTX enters traditional finance. FTX will be selling stocks and fractional shares, very similar to a Robinhood, which nobody really understands what's going on, because not that long ago, the fella who runs FTX, he was complimenting Robinhood on the ability to do traditional finance as well as crypto. And then last week, he bought in almost 8% of Robinhood, like several $100 million worth of stocks in Robinhood. So everybody thought they were kind of making a move towards it, Elon Musk style. And then he just announced very recently that FTX is going to be doing zero commission stock trading, just like Robinhood. So almost a competitor of Robinhood. So I don't quite understand what's going on. It's all too new that, nobody really knows what exactly the gameplay is here. But FTX, one of the biggest exchanges for trading crypto, is getting into traditional finance, which I did not realize that it was spelled like this. I didn't realize TradFi, traditional finance is what it is, like DeFi, decentralized finance, and apparently TradFi. Now they're cool because they have a shortened.
Is that given to them by crypto
I guess now that crypto is selling stocks, they are officially TradFi, not traditional finance. So
all right.
Seems like... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, I was just gonna say the Sam Bankman-Fried. That's the guy's name.
What's up, guys? I'm here with my boy Sam from FTX. We're at Crypto Bahamas Conference. We're going to start the day. We're going to do some TikToks for you guys, and it's going to be an amazing day. We'll get started. We'll do a get ready with me. Sam, where you going, bro?
So it's just pretty cool because, that guy is just started out as a trader like anybody else, exposed a loophole, made a lot of money, decided to fill the gap of what he was noticing, built FTX, young dude, billionaire, very down to earth, and he's getting to go around and hang out and do TikToks with Tom Brady. Just very cool.
Living the dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of like us.
Almost. We'll be with Tom Brady next year.
Maybe we should have Sam and Tom on. Maybe.
There you go. I'll just have, not even just via Zoom or StreamYard. I'll invite them over to the house and see if they want to come hang out. We'll record an episode from here. So
you should just send them a picture of your turtles and say pizza at my place.
There you go. Bitcoin Pizza Day. I should have done something with the turtles. That would have been a good idea. And now you've ruined it. Yeah, next year. I'm going to make a note. Actually, I'm going to write it down right now. Bitcoin Pizza Day turtles.
It ought to be pretty easy because they'll be in your YouTube studio at that point.
Hopefully, Eat Bitcoin Pizza will be expanded to more cities by next year, and I'll be able to actually order it official. That would be pretty cool.
Yep.
At the new MetaMentors World Headquarters in Dayton, Ohio. Oh, by the way, we're moving the headquarters to where I live. Next up, Coinbase.
I'm good with that. You do all the editing, so whatever you want, sunshine.
Coinbase is adding more features, including an NFT wallet and the ability to. They were talking about doing stuff on the DeFi platforms and being able to trade via Sushi Swap and stuff like that without ever leaving Coinbase. They're trying to get into, without breaking their regulation standards, they're trying to make it to where Coinbase members can get some of those smaller, trickier to get coins, which would be really good for, especially for American investors. There's a lot that you can't get on Coinbase, but they're trying to open a couple of backdoor channels to where you can decentralized wallets, decentralized exchanges. And as you know, there are 300 million cryptocurrency investors, and almost half of those do it in some way or another on Coinbase, which means anything they're doing moves the market, changes the market, and makes it available to a lot of Americans in the market. So especially entry point investors, Coinbase, anything they're doing is always a big move. So I thought that was pretty cool. They've got a lot of stuff. Like I said, they're trying to get into the Ethereum-based NFT networks and decentralized exchanges. So very interesting. And even more interesting, Chainsmokers' new album. With their newest album, they're picking 5,000 fans based on social media activity, Spotify streams, Like they're going to be getting onto all these different social media stuff, see who's sharing stuff about them on Twitter, see who's listening to their songs the most on Spotify. And they're going to give 5,000 random fans a 1% cut of the royalties of their newest album. So you'll get an NFT, which is actually an income producing NFT. So any money that they make from these streaming services, some of these 5,000 super fans will be making a cut of the royalty. And I believe it's 5,000 people cutting 1% of the royalties, so it's not going to be very big, but it's a
free.
Market first. You know what I mean? One, it's free. Two, it's just now opening the doors. Chain smokers don't have to do that kind of stuff. That's more of a novelty publicity stunt. But if you're a smaller person and you can sell NFTs, if you say, hey, for $5,000, I'll give you 1% of the cut of royalties, then they can afford to pay for the studio time, do the tours, do all that kind of stuff, and then go out and, the bands that don't have the financial capabilities that the chain smokers do, you're actually able to sell some of your action and then pay it back through an income producing NFT, which I know this is an industry first, but it's going to blow up. Yeah, this is the industry. Yeah, this is like just turning on the spigot to a waterfall. Okay, well, here comes everybody else, and there's going to be a million different ways to do it. This one's getting 5,000 fans doing 1% cut, but you're going to see smaller groups doing 50% cut to 10,000 fans, and then whole NFT drops. The whole process. You're going to see all sorts of stuff. I just thought that was super cool because especially a band that big, they have a lot of fans that are unfamiliar with the crypto industry. Right. And just hearing that they're going to do kind of stuff like that. And if you knew that, well, let's say crypto existed in the 80s and Michael Jackson was going to give 5,000 people a 1% cut of Thriller, you know what I mean? Yeah. Forever, for as long as it ever got streamed, and as long as you own that NFT. And it's nothing that you can get bought out by. It's not going to be 5,000 rich people buying it out. They're giving it to real fans, ones that have an established history, either streaming their songs, tweeting about them, sharing their stuff on social media, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, rewarding the fans. I mean, this is decentralization. This is community. This is Web3. This is these are the things that you and I are trying to get out in front of people that don't know about this stuff. Like it is revolutionizing everything.
It really is. I mean, and we talk about it all the time, how many different industries are out there. Music is just one industry, and this is just one that gets talked about because the chain smokers are in the public eye more than decentralized finance. There's so many projects out there that are just going nuts right now. You hear about stuff like this because you would hear about the chain smokers either way. So it's just very cool because it just gives you a positive understanding of where this market is going. This is not a fly-by-night. You know what I mean? This is not a fad. These NFTs, they're not pictures. They're not selling, a little trading card of the chain smokers. This is an income producing. If you happen to end up with one of these tokens, you keep it in your MetaMask wallet. And whether it's once a year or once a quarter, they deposit a share of 1% of their royalties that they're getting from streaming this album on those sites. That's unbelievable. Because especially if you start thinking long-term, again, if this existed in the 80s and you got one of those for Michael Jackson, he's still making, you know what I mean? His estate is making millions of dollars a year through streaming sites. It's forever. You can pass that NFT down to your kid and they'll keep earning money. Or you can go sell it for a buttload on OpenSea. That's the beauty.
Yeah, all because you were there. You were a big fan of their music before, they're rewarding their fans. How awesome.
Yep. And that's going to be a great way where you don't have to go through the traditional music industry channels to release music. if you're a small time band from a small town or a small singer or a small songwriter, you can start piecing off your royalties right now. You can raise money the old fashioned way by yourself. I guess it's not old fashioned if you're selling NFTs, but you know what I mean? You're not going to the studio hoping that some guy behind a desk likes your music. If you have a following, you can start raising your own money. And there's a lot to be said for that. And then last that I have on the news for today, I talked to you about this. The creator of Rick and Morty is creating his new television show, Crapopolis. The article says that it's the first ever animated series curated entirely on the blockchain. It's coming out. Fox owns it. It's not an independent studio. It's Fox Studios that has bought the rights, has all that, they're doing the whole thing. So they'll own it on streaming sites for forever. But the cool part about it is right off the bat, they're opening up an NFT marketplace. They're going to have NFTs, gifts, all sorts of stuff to kind of bring in the audience. But then not only that, but allow the audience to kind of choose outfits for some of the characters on the show, maybe some of the minor plot lines, maybe get your name shouted out on the show. You know what I mean? Like all sorts of stuff. And it's running through the blockchain. So you'll be able to participate in this television show, which I feel like we've talked about the possibility of this kind of stuff just a few weeks ago. And now not only is somebody doing it, but it's the guy who makes Rick and Morty, which is one of the most popular cartoons, the animated shows around right now. So they're going big time. Now, on this particular article, I scrolled down too far. And I got to the comment section. And you never want to read the comment section on the internet. But some of these were too good because this is people who are interested in television show who most know nothing about NFTs. I'm going to have to edit some of these out. The language is terrible, but somebody said NFTs are the new Funko Pops and Funko Pops are the new Beanie Babies. NFTs are a scam. They're already on the way out. The fad is over. That guy said that back on May 17th of 2021. I didn't even realize this show had been around that long. That poor guy. Could you imagine where he's at right now?
He was on the front end of that. He could have owned a Bored Ape Yacht Club and all the man.
Absolutely disgusting. Please stop with this non-fungible garbage. We can see it for what it is. Shameless monetization. That's a pyramid scheme. It's just like you said, this is why we're doing this. Not just because, you and I were interested enough in all of this stuff to want to participate, but there's so many people out there that just aren't aware, and us included. I'm trying to think of how I want to say this. If you think that NFTs are a pyramid scheme and garbage, now there probably are some, but if you think the NFT industry, if you think crypto is not working, if you think it's on its way out and it's a dying fad, you're so wrong that it's going to be painfully evident to you very shortly, I think. And that's why we're doing this. One, because you and I knew that we were going to spend the next couple of years figuring this stuff out for ourselves. So, two, we have broad circles of friends who are in the same boat as we are. And I don't want to figure this stuff out and, make a lot. I assume we're going to make a lot of money. And I don't want to make a ton of money and then come back and hang out with my friends and then say, hey, why would you never tell us about that? How could you not tell me about that? And so we're doing this so you and I can learn and so we can teach or mentor, even though we're probably only a couple of steps ahead of most of the people that are watching this channel. The whole idea is we're trying to figure this stuff out because there is money to be made. There is technology getting created every day that just blows away the unbelievable technology we have right now. And in 5 years, if we're looking on the 2025 to 2030 timeline, there's no telling with how fast the US dollar is going down, how much some of these projects will be worth. You know, if you say it's worth $1 million, that sounds like a lot. It won't be as much in 2030, but some of these projects, I mean, I think we're going to be pushing the $500 million, upwards of $1 trillion market cap on some of these projects. And now, if you're getting in 2022, 8 years before they hit $1 trillion, now's the time to buy stuff. You know?
Yeah, the only people that are against this are the ones that have not taken a good enough look at it or had enough information. That is the only way. You don't have to like it. I'm not saying you have to like it and agree with it, but the only way that you are against or don't believe in what's happening is because you haven't paid enough attention, because the technology that underlays all this is not arguable. You can't argue with the technology and the community driven part of it and the power that it's giving back to people. Who's not interested in that?
But it makes sense only to some degree. I mean, when I picture my mom, you know, trying to explain any of this to my mother, it's impossible. You know what I mean? Like you can't just say, well, this is why it's the future, because she'll say blah, 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 blah. Yeah. You know, and when you hear people, like I've always explained with the Roblox metaverse, when I was trying to find a video about the Roblox metaverse, I became so frustrated so fast because the only people that were talking about it were 17-year-olds who talked a mile a minute, and they kept having explosions going off on their, you know, they kept doing little video clip intros, you know, and it was just like, oh my gosh, just tell me why it's so cool. And again, that's another reason why we are glad to be doing this type of channel, because we're trying to present this information in a non-16-year-old ADD child way to other adults and say, hey, this is what they're doing. This is who's involved in it. This is how you can get involved in it. This is what the price is, and this is what they're expecting in the next few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Take that info, make your own decision.
Yeah, we're just trying to lay it out a little bit more clearly with a little bit less sound effects so you can get a better idea. If you hear all of this stuff and you think, no, that's not for me, you're wrong, but at least you've heard it presented in a, you know, a little bit clearer way.
Yeah. I can't help but be overly excited as we get into these. That was the end of your news there. I'm not cutting you off.
Nope, that was it. That's all I got.
So let us jump right into NFT Worlds, built on the Minecraft platform. Why Minecraft? Well, it's pretty simple. They've already got millions and millions of daily users. They've already got the structure set up. They've already got the devs, the developers that are on Minecraft. Like, this is one of those projects that once you open the door to it and you're looking at it, you're like, well, this was a no-brainer. Why didn't anybody else think of this? Then you remember, oh, we're at the very beginning of this anyway, so somebody did think of it right away.
Right.
So there's some concerns with this, but you know, I've got a bunch of video clips that we're going to go through, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot because we're going to put the actual developers on it that created this and let them speak for us. But again, you've got millions and millions of users already on the Minecraft platform. They're familiar with the game controls. They know, there's multiple platforms they can use: mobile, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. That's not the case with a lot of other metaverses yet. There's infinite amount of tools. Anything that's available on Minecraft is available within NFT Worlds to build. It just makes complete sense when you've got that many people familiar with that product that they can just transition right over into NFT Worlds, and they can go back and forth. It's not like if they come over to NFT Worlds, they can't go back into the Minecraft world. It's you flow in and out. But the creators are betting that if you like Minecraft, then you're probably going to like playing on the NFT Worlds, because they're the same. Most of them are the same sort of games, but you can play to earn. You can actually make money. You can actually use NFT avatars. So this is, we talk about bridges within projects. This is another bridge that is bridging non-crypto, non-play to earn, non-Web3 individuals, game players, developers, and it's bridging them into this world, they're doing the exact same thing they're already doing on Minecraft, but now they can own it and actually get paid for it.
Right.
Who doesn't want to do that? And there's creators on Minecraft right now that are getting paid, but the gamers are not.
Right.
I want to jump back to this infographic just one more time.
Oh, yes.
And it's a keep.
That was a good graphic. Yeah, I like that graphic. That puts it into perspective. Plus, when you bring it up, if you look in the blue, it says this graphic is scaled down by 1,000 times.
Can
you see that?
I didn't even see that. How is? Well, I think I don't remember if it was before the episode or not, but you said that you made the comment that it is basically infinite. It's being called infinite build. So if you have the opportunity to buy a plot of land in Sandbox or Decentraland, or a plot of land in NFT World that you actually own the Metaverse, that seems like a no-brainer to me. Let's get into this. Let's just get right into these videos, because I've got a bunch of them and it's the best explanation. So let me jump over to that
Let's
screen. No more teasing. So this is one of the founders, one of the developers. He goes by ArcDev. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff here.
Right. So we want to have game experiences across all these different NFT worlds where players can come in, they can play different games in exchange for, completing different quests, winning, say, like PvP arena battles, maybe it's a racing world where like you run a racing event, stuff like that. You earn some world token, and that's usable across all the different interconnected economies of all these worlds. The way these worlds get access to that faucet to give rewards is there's two things. So we will have an internal review process where it's basically just making sure, like, okay, the systems in the games that a world has made that wants access to the faucet, are they bottable? Are they gameable? Can they be exploited in any way that could be concerning? And then if not, we're going to require them to stake a fairly large amount of world token against their world in such a way where in the future, if any other world owner via the governance model that we're making, or ourselves find that, hey, this world is doing something that is in violation of the standards we have in place and is clearly like misusing the appropriation of funds, the governance DAO can vote to slash that staked amount of world, which, being a significant amount, you obviously would not want that to happen, and therefore you're incentivized to use things in the correct way. And if they would get slashed, let's say that the staked amount would have to be 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 world, depending on the scale at which they have access to the faucet. And that part is still being figured out. But in the event they're slashed, that token goes back into the rewards pool. They lose their token and they get shut off from access to the faucet for doing a violation.
Okay, so we're going to fly through these videos, but I'm going to stop and so we can hash out some of this stuff. So one of the biggest concerns, obviously, is Minecraft is owned by Microsoft, which is not decentralized. They're centralized, even though NFT Worlds has built a decentralized world on top of it through the Ethereum layer 2 Polygon. So what keeps Microsoft from just saying, hey, you guys suck, shuts them down, or you guys are making too much money, we're taking this over, anything like that. So we're going to get into more and more detail about that. But essentially, and you're going to get into the token, world token, which I'm really excited about to hear. But essentially, he's saying if you're going to buy an NFT world and then build within here, you've got to contribute a large amount of world tokens. And if you start acting up or pulling something that hurts us as a community and hurts our chances with Microsoft, we're yanking your world tokens from you. So there's going to be some pain for that because it is decentralized. They can't really dictate what you do with your world. So they've got to have some type of leverage against you.
Right. Because like building your own game is very difficult, and making something that millions of players will enjoy for a long period of time consistently is even harder. Very few games in history have done this. Minecraft is probably the outlier that has, where people just keep coming back, 100 million plus players, and they play without getting any compensation. So it's like, we know all the very fun proving game systems. They're all open source plugins for game mods and whatnot, just as like a base layer. So like we take those and then we add the spend mechanisms on top, and all of these verified builders who have built extremely engaging games on the Minecraft marketplace over the last like 3 to 5 years. They know how to make great games, and they know what players already play. So like they're taking that experience of being like official Microsoft Minecraft partners, bringing it into NFT Worlds, making that same caliber or greater of great games just because they have access to greater liquidity to fund it now. And then they throw the play to earn layer on top. So it's like a double hit of like fantastic game experience that they have the experience making, because players who were just playing for free on the Minecraft marketplace already liked it. And then you add play to earn and spending on top for even greater utility in those games. And we think it's a winning formula, but we have yet to see.
So obviously so Minecraft's established. You have all these, industry leading developers already on Minecraft creating these games. Why not come over to NFT Worlds? Either they buy a world themselves, or they have vetted developers that you can pick from to actually hire and build on your world, building the best game. So, take that against, Decentraland or Sandbox or someone like, similar, where you're buying in and building your own games, which is great. But, most of those games probably are not going to be that, let's just call it as it is. If I build a game on there, it's going to suck. Period. I may like it, may not. You got professional developers on Minecraft that will come on and build these games, and I'm going to show you what this potentially could mean in income for you as an owner here in just a little bit. But
yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense because a lot of the worlds and the metaverse projects that we've looked at, you have the ability to come in and build these worlds, like Horizon Worlds or Decentraland. But you and I have mentioned it several times. Well, I have not even the first idea how to develop a piece of land on the metaverse. But if you can own the land, if you've got the financial capital to own the land and then hire one of these digital guys that have been building on Minecraft, for 3 or 4 years to come in and either give them free reign and let them build whatever that they have been doing, or if you kind of have a good idea but you don't know how to build, you can bring somebody in and develop this together. And yeah, that's a great idea, because then you own it, the game, the land, and the means of making the income.
Yeah, absolutely no brainer.
Yet coming on to be there.
Have you seen our SMP test server?
No, I haven't. So I wanted to ask you, as the people that are on right now, what are the data that you can share as far as who's coming on?
These are like 95% of them are non-crypto Minecraft gamers. They're people that are hearing from Minecraft streamers or seeing friends playing and earning World Token, and they're like, I love like survival multiplayer. I want to come play this, especially if I'm earning this token too, then I'm going to be able to use in some games in the future. And like, if you even try to join our SMP server right now, like it supports 500 people playing it at one time, but we have a queue that is like, a queue is basically you sit in line, like in game waiting for a spot to hop in and start playing. And that's 2,500 additional people. So the test server, which has always been a test, like we can scale this up and we will be very soon, but we've just been testing like load and stuff internally. There's 3,000 people pretty much all the time, and you're lucky if you can even join the server because the queue itself is full too. And people are waiting, just regular Minecraft gamers waiting hours and hours to play.
Okay.
So as I'm guessing you are already getting there by shaking your head, he's specifically talking about non-crypto users. These are Minecraft players that are already lining up by the thousands just for the test version to play on some of these worlds. So, like we've talked about prior to this, one of the biggest, if not the biggest benefit is you already have millions of users on this platform. Are they going to be willing to come over here? Clearly they are.
Hundreds of millions of people on the platform. And yeah, like you said, they're basically kicking down the door. He said it's only 3,000 because the queue fills up, because you can't even get into the queue. It's not like there's only 3,000 people that are trying to play it. It's just that the queue is limited and then the server is limited. So yeah, that's interesting. It'll be even more interesting once they're able to scale that up.
Yeah. Yeah. And this video was taken back in February. So this is 4 months old already. Funny enough, I don't know if these guys, because they're building like crazy. He talks a lot about it. Speed is crucial. He's constantly bringing it up. He even makes the comment at one point that he doesn't have time to eat. But let's. So my point being is there wasn't a whole lot of videos about these details prior or after that, because these guys are, I think, just going to town. But let's move on.
Have like a website implementation where they want to use World Token. Like these libraries are for that, but people can use World Token for these things as well.
Listen to this one.
Want to implement for just the gasless transaction side, and we may see an entire ecosystem just around the tech utility there that isn't really available otherwise. I'm not sure. Like, it's not a huge immediate focus of ours, but like there's so much demand and interest on it. The primary interest is like within the game economy and the ecosystem. Like all these projects were wanting to bring their own tokens into a game, but there's so much friction around needing gas, people needing to figure out how to use a wallet if they're non-crypto traditional, or if they're traditional gamers without crypto experience. And it's just like, they all convert to the World Token because they realize like, oh, this solves all these problems that have been preventing a bridge from just general gaming to crypto.
It's really awesome. I can definitely see the scenario playing out where like World is just the token, the play to earn gaming token.
Maybe, yeah.
For a lot of reasons, it makes sense, and so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Ben, did you understand what they just were talking about?
I got a pretty good idea. Are you asking me to explain it, or?
No, I'm catching my breath. Of course
Gotcha.
not. I want to talk. I just want you to look pretty.
All right.
So the World Token, which you're going to go into detail about, is a gasless transaction token by the way that it's set up. And you have these builders, companies, players coming onto NFT Worlds. Some of them have their own token already with gaming that they've created. They are choosing to ditch it and go to the World Token because it's so much better and faster. That alone is impressive. But then the comment at the end here is, I could see where play to earn gaming, all of it is what he's talking about, converts to the World Token. Now that's a stretch, but he's saying a gasless transaction with a governance token that is working this well, that other companies are ditching their own token to use the World Token. Like, and what, I don't want to step on your toes, but what's this thing priced at again?
Well,
You'll get to it.
No, I was waiting to explain it to you because it's 0.0666 cents.
Oh.
So it's 6/10 of 1 penny right now. No, scratch that. 6 and 6/10, whatever. Yeah. So it's just over 6 cents right now.
Yeah.
Is how much this token is.
So
that's what, and I'll talk more about it when it gets to the tokenomics of this coin. But this is the kind of stuff that I like, because even if I could buy an NFT world, and even if I could hire somebody to come in there and build a game on it, and even if it did eventually make all that money, I don't have the investment, the time, the knowledge, or probably the patience to deal with any of that. But right now, you could potentially be buying into the future gaming token of all play-to-earn NFT-based blockchain games, the World Token, for under 7 cents. It's an all-time high, was probably when they were making this video in February, probably because of all the information they were dropping out.
Yeah.
But it's already, right now, with the current dip that the whole market's in, I guess I am talking too much now. It was over 60 cents, so we're back down to 6. So we can go 10x from here just to get back to where it was when this video was recorded. So Very,
No-brainer.
very exciting stuff.
Not financial advice, but I like to call those a no-brainer.
Question: how the relationship with the Microsoft team is now that obviously you guys blew up? You know,
nothing's
right?
changed. Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
They still, yeah, you're good. Nothing's changed.
You probably heard it, but they're talking about the relationship with Microsoft here.
Yeah.
The last time we talked to them, they were asking questions about like people ripping off some other assets related to Halo. It was like, it's interesting. I don't know if it's related to like they're seeking domain experts outside of internally, just because it's so new, like NFTs plus gaming and like how it ties to existing brand assets. And so they're talking to us. But on the Minecraft side, like the last pushback type of thing we had was we had some people that were copying like worlds. They were basically going onto like Planet Minecraft, like downloading a world and like using mods and plugins to edit it into like an NFT world and then try and resell it. And they're like, can you guys do something about this? And we're like, yeah, we can, you know, put some checks on the world uploader system. And we did that like within 6 hours and we sent it back to them. They're super happy. Like, oh, cool, no problem. Sounds great. So that's like our relationship. Anytime they raise something, we immediately address it. And like anytime they have questions, we try to be as helpful as possible. And so it's been a really like good relationship so far.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
Matt, you mind if I jump in on this front?
Yeah, definitely.
So your relationship is obviously very good with them right now. Thinking into the future, do you have the concern that you guys just continue on this trajectory and get so big and worlds are trading at 50 ETH or whatever it is, and these Minecraft guys just look at you guys and they're like, yeah, it's great that we're benefiting because like more people are downloading the game, and obviously they pay the $26 every time they download the game.
Yep.
Do you think it ever reaches a point where you guys are so big and they're just like, okay, like you guys are making millions and we want, and we're making money too, but if you guys are making more, like we want a cut of that, and how do you see that playing out?
Yeah, I mean, we're always, if that were to happen where they're like, hey, we will give you guys like official stamp of approval partnership, which if they've ever done for anyone, I don't think they actually have. Like we'd be like, oh sure, like we're happy to do a license deal that's fair and makes sense. But at that situation where I think that would probably goes, and probably with Microsoft's strategy and knowing their internal politics, it would probably move more towards like an acquisition or something like that.
Right.
So yeah, I don't, we're open to it for sure, but like, I think it would probably go the other way with an acquisition on their end.
Right, so thinking about the possibility of an acquisition.
Okay, yeah. So obviously they have some inner workings of what's going on with Microsoft and so forth, and they don't feel that they would probably have a problem. They don't feel that Microsoft has a problem with them. They're constantly addressing anything that ever comes up. They've got this mutual working relationship. But what's super interesting, which you probably caught at the front, is Microsoft devs overall are not familiar. Obviously, they're becoming, but their background is not in NFTs and decentralization. So they're trying to develop that whole area themselves out, in their own products, and they're coming to these guys and asking them questions about,
Right.
how does this work? How do we do that? So they're utilizing them as consultants basically, and he doesn't say anything, but I'm assuming they're not paying him for it. It's just a mutual agreement for using the platform. It's beneficial to both sides. Tremendously, is what I'm saying.
That's what I was just thinking. I wonder what would be the benefit if they built it all on Minecraft. Then would Microsoft ever need to buy them out? Because what are you going to do? Take it somewhere else? You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if they would ever actually officially acquire them, because you'd have to change everything to move it off of the Minecraft platform.
Yeah, and I don't remember. I might actually play the clip, or I may not have kept this clip. But they mention at one point, they mentioned something about, essentially they say, and I'm going to summarize it here, but the devil you know is better than the devil you don't, or I think I'm messing that up probably like normal. But essentially they're saying, if they shut them down, people have already take note on what they've done, which is a incredibly profitable and big system, and they're just going to come in and not tell Microsoft and basically do what they're doing anyways. So why wouldn't Microsoft have some control or some, at least some say so with these guys? So here's the second developer here, and I've only got a couple short clips here, but again, just better to let them say it than me to try and regurgitate it.
Like full fine-grained control over this. You'll be able to whitelist specific users, or you can do a combination of whitelisted users and users that say are a holder of a specific token for some smart contract. Pretty much every single combination of ways you could enable or disable permissions to allow people to join your world, you'll be able to do. All or nothing's possible. So there's not going to be any constraints there to prevent you doing whatever you want to do.
And that's what's great about the token system. You can let everyone in and then differentiate by token holders versus just only letting community members in.
Yeah.
XDM99 asks, do you have a plan B for if Minecraft changes how the seed generation happens, changing biomes, things like that?
Yeah, so I think with the NFT World servers, at least while we're still using Minecraft as a tool before our own clients out, we're going to lock the compatible version to 1.17. This pretty much gets us around all of those possible scenarios.
And that's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah, that'll be around for a while.
Kono asks, what is the current market for contracted Minecraft builders? Well, just since we started syncing, we've been getting bombarded with builders wanting to be verified. So it's huge. It's extremely huge. And a lot of them don't know anything about the NFT space. So we're kind of bridging that gap for a lot of these builders.
Yeah. Cryptic Slick asks, Can we will? Cryptic Slick asks, can we build a world where there's something like a GTA style world with missions? The answer to this is yes. The ability to create custom functionality in the world is going to be so extensive that you can pretty much do whatever you want. The JavaScript layer that's going to be compatible with the world is going to allow you to make in-game alterations in real time, connect these things up to third-party APIs outside of the game itself, blockchain-specific things, and a bunch more. You can pretty much do whatever you can think of.
So obviously he covered a few things there, but what's vital there that I heard was right off the bat where this is where we're talking about where you're not owning a plot of land within a metaverse, you're actually owning the metaverse. You have control of who actually gets to come onto your metaverse, participates, does the gaming, all of that. You're actually in control of that. And that control is mostly held through the tokenomics within a DAO or a governance structure there. But again, you're not buying a piece of land. You're buying an actual metaverse that you can, as he said in the end, you can do whatever you want with it. Their creativity is crazy. You violate Minecraft, Microsoft's rules, and the project's rules. You're going to have to answer to that. But and I've got one more short video and he might get into it actually here. So before I start opening up about that, let's just play this and see if this is the part he covers it.
Obito asks, do you have any plans for using the unique world resources?
Yeah, definitely. We haven't announced exactly how they're going to come into play, but they will be significant and they will have meaning and value. So we'll just have to wait and see.
And just for the record, the initial stats do not change. They're immutable. Even if the world is completely leveled to nothing and built up from scratch, they stay there. And that's a very common, not misunderstanding, but it's a very common question and comment people have. So yeah, those stats don't change. If you have an extremely rare stat on your world, it will give it value for all eternity.
Right. And that's again the difference between on-chain data and the Minecraft worlds. The on-chain stuff we're going to use for a number of things that also tie back into the Minecraft worlds, but have supplementary value as well.
So what he's talking about there is each NFT, each land has a specific set of qualities.
Yeah.
That go with it. Let me bring this up here.
Yeah, like typical NFT collections, they've got different variants, and each one's, some are more basic, some have rare qualities, and so Yeah, he said those will stay with it even if you level it to nothing and start again.
Exactly, which is like he said it there at the end, is the difference between on-chain and off-chain. Microsoft, regular Minecraft, you wipe the world, it's completely wiped. You wipe an NFT world, you still have these special descriptions or rarities or whatever. Current floor price 3.85. This is back in February, March, that time frame, the floor price was above 10 ETH. So these have come way down, just like a lot of others. Here are, and again, like a lot of things, you have to buy. All of these had sold out, all of the NFT World NFTs, so you have to buy them on a secondary market now. And of course, OpenSea is the one we directly go to because it's the big one. But you can see these here's the descriptions of the different properties. This is the cheapest one, obviously, at 3.85. Slowly climbs up or quickly climbs up into 4 ETH here. Obviously, most likely, you got to do your own research and go through here. But these are the less rare properties. The more rare, obviously, the more they ask. You can also buy properties on here
that have already been developed.
Yeah, have already been developed here. So as far as gaming and that stuff, I don't know. Maybe you'll be able to touch on that a little bit more, but you can actually buy worlds in here that have already been developed. And so you could just plug and play essentially. And to me, when I'm looking at these, like if I was buying a world that already had been built on, I would want some of the data from the current owner, like what type of users are you seeing, those type of things. Are you bringing in any world tokens income wise? But there's a ton of them on here to pick from, and obviously like a lot of these NFT projects, you go to the top in here and there's people asking thousands of ETH for it, just to ask for it, shot in the dark. But
just in case.
Yeah, but you're kind of getting a glimpse here of, it's all 10,000 of them. It's a wide variant of different worlds that you could build on. So I'm gonna jump into one more video here, and this is pretty exciting here to watch this.
Like a playable model right now. So definitely interesting for people that are currently developing on these lands, where you can see the huge increase in value, because it was sold for 1 Ethereum 5 months ago, then it was sold for 2 Ethereum 4 months ago. And this guy apparently got somebody to build on it, and it's called the City of Angels, and then sold it for 60 Ethereum, so a 48 Ethereum profit right there, which, well, about $150,000 gain by building this City of Angels. How long does that take? I don't know. Would I want to build on the land myself? Also not. So I would basically buy these plots either to flip them later or buy these plots to have somebody else build on them, because obviously I don't know how that works and I don't really have the time. But this one is quite cool as well. As you can see, it's listed for 1,000 Ethereum, 2.9 million.
So there you go again. Somebody bought that property for 1 ETH, sold it for 2 ETH, and then that person took it and built on it or hired a dev to build out and sold it for 60 ETH a couple months later, or maybe 4 months later, whatever that was there. So I don't know, if they hired a dev, I don't know what they paid for it, but I'm guessing it wasn't anywhere near what they got for it. And maybe it was. Maybe it is very expensive to hire a very good dev, but that's for you to do your own research. Pretty exceptional profit margins there for an NFT world that you own and can do whatever as your own metaverse. Before I forget, Ben, and I'm wrapping up my part here. I do a bad job of here lately pointing this out. This guy here calling it's like digits. That's his video. I want to give him credit for that. And then you've got these guys here. These guys here or fellow Malik, Malik. That's where this video feed came from. So I want to give those guys credit. If you're interested in NFT Worlds, those are definitely 2 good resources to go and check out. So that is, I believe that's all I've got on the actual land portion, my portion, Ben. So I'm going to hand it over to you. Any questions on that? Pretty huge stuff there. I don't think I was lying when I said this project is huge.
No, it really is huge, and I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I know I have a ton of questions, but I know that I got to go into my part now, so I can't really think too much about them. But this project has a ton of possibility. Just the sheer amount of people that are already playing Minecraft, and this guy's big deal is speed, about hurrying it up and getting it to turn it around. This is the kind of stuff, whether or not we go into a recession, there's already 100 million, we'll call them kids, 15 to 25-year-olds playing Minecraft. But if we slow down again, or if people are getting laid off, if there's games that need to be played by people staying at home, it's going to be on already ready to go games. And this is already ready to go. Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Star Atlas, it's cool to guess what's going to be, and it's cool to invest and hope to be early. But it's got a long way to go before its game is ready. But there are people that have been doing these games for years before the blockchain was tied into the project. And now they've got the blockchain, but the builders, the platform, everything is on Minecraft, which has been around for long enough that the games are ready to go. And they've got all sorts of games. That leads right into the gameplay that I'll be talking about. It's like we've talked about with Decentraland or Sandbox. They buy a plot of land, or in this case, the entire world, and they just have so many different themes. We can't even, there's 10,000 worlds, so you can't even get into how many different themes there are. Some of these are more like the experience worlds, where you get to wander around, like that Dubai one that guy had there for sale. Some of it's just so intricate. I saw actually at Bored Ape Yacht Club, their load screen where they made their little trailer at. Somebody had built that into one of these worlds. So you could walk around the Bored Ape Yacht Club inside Minecraft. And the guy was talking about it, and he said, we ran it by them first. It's not officially tied to them or anything.
Right.
But maybe one day they'll have a portal that'll jump them over to the Bored Ape Yacht Club's metaverse. But it was interesting because somebody took the time to recreate that whole set for the Bored Ape Yacht Club, where the monkey was on the porch and then the little bar inside there.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, because it's still Minecraft, so it's still a little bit blocky. It's still a little bit not the best graphics as far as gameplay, but you could definitely tell what it was, and it had the BAYC up on there. But you could see all these different.
That's part of the. I think that's part of the attractiveness of this project is you can go from world to world. You could be in knights, castles and stuff in one world, and then go right over into space exploration in the next world so there's all these different worlds that you can jump around to, as opposed to like another type of game like this where you're just going from game to game, but basically it's kind of the same world. I'm guessing. I haven't spent a lot of time in these, obviously, but
right, yeah, and that's what's cool about it is they've got very basic games, just like Tetris style, games you can play on your phone, and then they've got like this one is a first-person shooter. You can fight each other, you can fight monsters. They had racing games. They've got MMORPG games, just big, massive games. They've got the Clash of Clans style games where you can kind of set your people up to do stuff. This one I thought was pretty cool. The world horses, you develop and train these horses, and then you can race them and you can bet on them, or you can just show up and bet on other people's horses who are already racing. You don't even have to do it. And yeah, the beauty of the gameplay is you do bounce in and out of all of these worlds. You just do whatever you want. So you're basically walking into a blockbuster full of video games, and you're just picking whatever game you want. You play it, you jump over. And most of these, not all of them, but one of the things that ArtDev was talking about was just that innate behind the scenes. If you can make it play to earn, even if it's very small amounts, if you know, some of these people who play Minecraft playing for 10, 12 hours a day, you know, if you think 17-year-old kids or college kids on a weekend, they're just burning an entire day. And if there's any way that you can develop some sort of a play to earn aspect of your game, even some of these games that weren't originally developed for that, even if it's just time in the game or, you know, a certain point level, you get a world token. He said that's what's going to really drive it home, because these games, and he said all of them, but, you know, if there's 10,000 of them, I don't know how he checked all of them, but he said they're just very playable games. You know what I mean? They're very enjoyable games. These are game first, blockchain later. There's cool things about it because it's on the blockchain. There's cool things about it if you can play to earn. But he said this is just a whole bunch of really fun, playable games. So I thought that was pretty. I thought it was pretty cool. I haven't downloaded it, but I think since most of them are pumped and ready to go, that's something I'm going to try, because I want to find some games that I could play. This is definitely a project that I'm going to invest in. Like we've talked about before, I don't know anything about developing any of these properties. And since they're so massive and so spread out, I don't know what I would do with a giant world. You know what I mean? Unless I could afford one of the ones that somebody had already built out. That would be pretty interesting to be an owner of Dubai City in NFT Worlds. But I'll definitely be trying the games, and I will definitely be buying the token, because like we talked about earlier in the episode, the token is the World Token, WRLD, not available on Coinbase. You got to get it on a decentralized platform. But right now it's at 0.0666. So just over 6 cents, just under 7 cents per token. It's been as high as 62 cents. And that was back in February, where those videos that you were, they must have really just started releasing some stuff back in February. Because there was nothing much going on in November when everything else had rode up. So February was the big one for that. Everything's dropping right now. The NFT World Token, like you said, it is their in-game governance and earning token. If you have it, then you have a say in the DAO. I don't know if they actually ever announced that they have a DAO, but you'll have more say the more that you do. They have a DAO?
Yeah, they were talking.
Okay.
He brought it up a couple times.
They never called it a DAO, at least on the stuff that I was looking at. They're just talking about the general community gets to vote in it. So even if they didn't call. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I
right.
guess let me clarify. He mentioned several times about a DAO. I don't know if it's established yet because of the stage they're in. I took it that it was, but I don't know. I just know he mentioned it. They didn't talk a lot about it, but it does exist.
Yeah, and that's the opposite of what we've seen a lot of these projects. Usually they have all of that stuff set up, and then they're trying to build these games. Right. These guys already have games on games on games ready to go, and they're trying to tie it into the blockchain. They're trying to, you know what I mean, make it blockchain compatible. They've already got the platform. They've already got the players. They've already got the games. Now they're trying to make it play to earn and put it on the blockchain. Like I said, the token got up to over 60 cents. Right now, it's the token for 10,000 worlds on NFT Worlds. And once they start connecting more stuff, there is a chance that there will be a whole bunch of tokens when we get to the, you know, let's say the 2030 mark. That's kind of what with all of my investments, I'm kind of looking towards 2030. So maybe in 2030, we'll have 50 different games with 50 different tokens. But like he was saying in that video that you showed, there is a chance that some of these people find a token that they like, and they're like, you know what, we're not even going to worry about our tokenomics. We're not going to worry about that aspect of it, because we can buy, sell, trade, and deal in this gasless world token. And so there's also a chance we have 50 good metaverse projects that either all use world token or maybe 20 of them do. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just the token for this massive project, but there's also that whole other economy that could be built on just the token. And if this token's getting used by 100 million Minecraft players, then their economy is already built. You know, if you're trying to get Blocktopia to be a popular coin and you're trying to get people to use it, and there's 50,000 people in that metaverse, it's going to be harder to establish that token economy than it will be to establish the world token economy with 100 million players already ready to go. So there's a chance that they could just adopt that at some point. Maybe even do, you know, when a company you own gets bought out by another company, they do a stock trade over where it's like, okay, for every 10 of those stocks, we'll give you one of this new company stock. So there's a chance that they could do something like that in the future with some of these, where they start basically buying out the economy of these other token projects, or the other people, depending on what the price is, just start scrapping it all together and using the world token. So we've talked about a lot of different tokens, and I'm buying stuff like Blocktopia. I'm putting a little bit of money into this, but I'm definitely going to take out a good position on world token while it's in the 6 cent range. And depending on how the game and the metaverse grows, and depending on what the price is doing, I'd like to keep adding to that.
This, to me, and tell me if I'm crazy, but to me, this might very well be, I'm trying to think of my wording here, the best token as far as metaverses that we've covered. Like, the potential of it, just because there's the sheer amount of people that are already within Minecraft, and this is a governance token. It's not just a monetary token within the game. It's an actual governance and monetary token.
Right. And so when you think about, I think it was on the video you were showing where he was talking about Axie Infinity, where they run on the Ronin wallet, which is used for other things, but not nearly as mainstream as like a MetaMask or something like that. So if you want to play Axie Infinity, you got to get a Ronin wallet and then buy the Axie Shard coins and then do this, and, you know, and it's like, you got to do a lot of steps to get there. And if every little metaverse project with every individual game made you do that, you would pick about 2 or 3 games and go, this is what I'm playing. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
but if you can have a million world tokens in your deal and you can bounce from world to world to world, then you're not converting, you're not worrying about it. You're not losing gas fees every time you switch worlds. You can just buy with what you want. That does it. It almost, I'm not sure what the word is, but it separates the NFT Worlds and then the NFT World Token. It's 2 different economies. The NFT Worlds is doing its own thing, but the World Token is now usable for everything, because then it's got real world value outside of just, you know, the little NFT Worlds metaverse, because a token that can actually be used to something, that's like an NFT. It's like the ticket, the behind the scenes. It's like, I know, even if, you know, you're not in NFT Worlds, you know how valuable these NFT World tokens are. So you can start trading it outside the game and using it outside the game. And any token that has the potential to have 100 million wallets holding it is already top tier. You know what I mean? It's huge. I mean, what did we say? Coinbase has 90 million people. Does that sound familiar?
No, I thought you said it was 300 million.
No, 300 million was the total crypto holders in the world. I think was 300, and Coinbase was a little less than half that, so 100 to 150. But it's like, okay, so now you're getting 100 million Minecraft players, so basically rivaling the wallet holders. You know, if they all end up getting a wallet and moving over, which there'll be some that won't, but you get what I'm saying. That's the economy that you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm saying, is that the token is the economy. It is the governance. And I think it's limited from what I've seen. I think it was like $5 billion, max supply, which comparatively, you take a project that we love, Next Earth, that is a 60 billion, actually it's just been reduced, but was 60 billion token. So a project like this, like you're talking about, what, hundreds of millions of users having to use that governance token, and the supply is at 5 billion, which is a lot, but comparatively, it's not that much.
Right. Here's an infographic that I know you like.
Oh yeah, bring them on.
There you go.
I'm a picture type.
5 billion world tokens, and it's got the play to earn reward. You know, it's got it kind of just divided out like that, but it gives you an idea. The max supply is 5 billion world tokens, which means the market cap right now was at 333 million, and the price was 6 cents. I think if it 10x'd, if it 10x'd and went back to its highest possible point, then it would be about where Axie and Decentraland, kind of in that market cap range, the lower end of what those were. So it's right there. It's already in that dollar range, and I hadn't heard of it before you told me about it probably 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? And then once you start looking into it, you find out how many people are already playing it, and then how many people are like, basically, whether you know it or not, if you're playing Minecraft, you might not be going, oh, I can't wait to get over there. You might be, but you might not be. But pretty soon, everybody you're playing Minecraft is going to be trying to buy stuff on Minecraft and selling, and swapping world tokens. And you're going to be like, what am I missing out on? You know what I mean? So, So there's about to be 100 million people climbing into the world token. So that's one that I believe it is available on KuCoin. I looked it up, and I will be getting into some of that.
Agreed.
I love it. And that's what I've got for tokens, and I think what I've got for gameplay. Do you have any questions about the gameplay?
Did you have much on, we briefly talked about, did you have much on the avatars? What's going on with them?
No, and it just sounded like they were built in Minecraft as well. I know we looked up earlier this week, and I showed you some of them on there. I think 0.18 ETH is the lowest you can get one for, the most basic avatar, and you can play them in there, but you can still mint them right now, but I believe it's 0.4 ETH to mint it. So they're selling for less than their minting price. And I'm sure part of that's the dip right now. And I'm sure part of that is there's still some available to mint. So if you mint a rare or a legendary one, if it's 0.2 ETH to buy a used one, or 0.4 to mint a new one that could potentially be a rare or legendary that could be worth a lot more, I think there's still some people willing to take that risk and mint it. Even maybe sell the one that they got if it's super basic at a loss. But you'll obviously be able to use that, and not just in the 10,000 NFT worlds, but it's like everything else. It's a full-blown NFT, non-fungible, so you can take it and bring it wherever you're going.
Yeah, use it. That's the attractive, because obviously there's other avatars, but they're not NFTs within Minecraft. Man, that's it. We covered a lot. Any closing thoughts, or any closing thoughts? And if not, then I'll just jump over to our next project. But
I've said this on a couple of them. Horizon Worlds by Facebook, we weren't too thrilled about. This one I would get a piece of, because I feel like when they're able to open the doors, when they're able to ungate the play to earn process, like that guy was talking about, they had a beta test that only had 500 people in there, and then 3,000 people nonstop in the queue.
Yeah.
When they're able to open the door and let 100 million people in, I think this is, regardless of whether we're in a downturn in the market, whether we're in a recession or whether the crypto market has recovered yet. I think it's going to start going up pretty fast, and you're going to have missed your, I don't know when that is. I don't know when they said that they're going to be ready to release it to the world. But I know this is one that if you can get a piece of it, I think now's a pretty good time. And if it keeps dropping, keep getting in there, because once it starts going up, I think it's going to very quickly hit its all-time high and not come back down beneath that, at least for a while.
And like you hinted to, that one of the themes over and over and over again with this project is they are about the speed. That's partly why they chose Minecraft, is they didn't want to have to reinvent the wheel. They wanted to move fast. And that art dev guy is, if you listen to a few of his interviews, he is on top of everything that's going on. He is not messing around. And even his on his Discord, and his fans said he's notorious for they'll ask him, or he'll say, hey, we're working on this. We'll have it out, as soon as we can. And then like 2 days later it's out, and they're like, whoa. And he's like, yeah, I didn't want to wait.
Right. So yeah. And that's why I get that feeling when he says, okay, we're in the beta test right now. We've got 500 people in there and there's 3,000 people lined up, and that's consistent. You don't want to wait for him to go, okay, we're ready to go and we're opening it up, because it seems like this whole project is, by the way, we opened that up this morning, and then it's too late, because in the metaverse never sleeps. You might, and if you're sleeping and you go to bed at 9 o'clock and at 9:30, they crank that up and the token starts rising. You've just missed your, by the time you wake up, it's already doubled its all-time high. Yeah. So I think the price is low enough now from its all-time high to feel really good about at least making your initial price point, getting your small bag. Like I said, buy it if it goes lower, buy a little bit less if it goes higher. But once the doors open, I'm excited. And I saw I didn't look too much into it, but they're working on staking. So it's one of those that you can stake it, sit back and just let it roll in.
I love it. I love this channel. I love what we're doing, Ben. Just when you think it can't get any better, we're going to do MetaHero, our next one. And here's another revolutionary technology. Check it out.
Show me.
Imagine that this is you. Imagine that you could scan yourself into any game and be your own hero. Imagine being able to take any real-world object and perfectly copying it into the digital world.
I'm sold.
We've decided to make this vision a reality. MetaHero has partnered with Wolf Studio, the inventors of 16K 3D modeling technology used by the likes of CD Projekt, the makers of Cyberpunk 2077. From 3D NFTs to digital avatars, the possibilities are truly endless with the MetaHero 3D chambers, which will be placed in locations around the world. The deflationary hero token, coupled with next-generation 3D technology, will set your imagination free. Welcome to the future.
Welcome to the future, Ben.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How is it possible that every week we keep finding new metaverses, new projects? It's like if every week a new Tesla came along for you to invest in. You know what I mean? Like, so groundbreaking, so revolutionary. If every week in the car industry, a company that rivaled Tesla's computing power and innovation came out, you know what I mean? And then if the next week another Tesla that was so much different than regular Tesla and Ford and GM and Toyota, and then the next week another one came out that was different than all three of those, plus all, you know what I mean? I love the idea of that, making your own 3D NFTs, you know what I mean? To be able to go in there and actually do the whole immersive deal, because you can do that kind of stuff to make those, like a bobblehead of your friends or your favorite sports player. and they said they're going to have the actual real world places like that around the world. So it's not like they'll have one in Austin, Texas, where if you want to get your NFT made, you got to go there. They're going to have them all over.
They're already out there. Your comment to me yesterday at the pregame summed it up. It's here, it's now, and we're doing it.